NBC Sports presents the best of the National Football League, the American Football Conference. Brought to you by Schlitz. Make the most of now, from the life you live to the beer you drink. Go for it. By Chrysler Corporation. See the mileage makers at your Dodge or Chrysler Plymouth dealers. By the American Express card. Don't leave home without it. And by your Sears Tire and Auto Center. Home of straight talk, good values, and satisfaction.
Back at the Orange Bowl in Miami, this is Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy as the Dolphins in white. The Seattle Seahawks in blue deployed now as we await the opening kickoff. The Seahawks have won the toss, and they will be receiving to start the game. Dropping back for them is Al Hunter, number 24 to your left. Third-year player out of Notre Dame, and back with him is a rookie, Jeff Moore from Jackson State, number 32. There is Uwe van Schomen, the rookie from Oklahoma, the place kicker who replaced Gary Premium and caused quite a stir here in Miami, Bob.
Got lots of pressure on him today, Don. He's got to perform and perform well. He missed 2 last week and got 1 block. Here we go.
The ball is taken by Jeff Moore. He's out across the 15 to the 20 and knocked down hard at the Miami. No, he's not yet. He's still going, and he's out to the 23-yard line. So Jeff Moore brings the ball out close to the 23 or 4-yard line for Seattle. Glenn Blackwood, a rookie, came down to make the hit for the Miami Dolphins, and Seattle goes on offense 1st and 10 with throw-in Jim Zorn. They say he leaves the hotel throwing. Number 10 at quarterback, Sherman Smith, and David Sims is running back. Sims, 35, led the NFL in touchdowns last season, had 15-14 running. Good pass catchers, McCullen and Largent. Largent had 71 last year, as you mentioned, Bob, and Brian Peets is the tight end. So it is 1st and 10 now for the for the Seattle Seahawks at their 23-yard line. They go straight ahead, and David Sims, a 216-pound back out of Georgia Tech, tries the right side of the Miami defense where Bob Baumhauer, the nose tackle, middle guard from Alabama, knocked him down.
Don, quickly, Seattle is going to have to play just about the best game they can offensively. There you see the offensive line. Young guys, but a little bit of experience. Steve August there on Den Herder. Lewis Bullard replacing Nick Bebo with back spasms. He's got to A.J. Dewey, which is tough for the young Bullard today.
And to maintain an offense against the Miami Dolphins, you're going to have to throw the ball. They've been tough on the run. They had a great preseason and won them all. Sherman Smith comes across the 25 and gets the ball out close to the 28-yard line on a 2nd down and 8 carry. He got about 3. It'll bring up 3rd and about 5. On the tackle for the Dolphins was Vern Denherder. There's the front. Denherder, Baumhauer, and A.J. Dewey. They go with the 3-4 defense primarily. Matheson starts on the left side for injured Kim Bocamper. Chambers and Toll are the inside backers, and Larry Gordon, a very quick outside linebacker on that side. Norris Thomas and Gerald Smaller at the corners. Tim Foley, a veteran of the championship years, is back deep, along with Neil Colsey, native of Miami, former Oakland Raiders. Zorn let it go, and he gets it away. Ooh, a man was open. Coming out of the backfield was Sherman Smith. The ball was there. Would have been a 1st down. Very nearly was intercepted back.
That's a bad start for him, Don. Last week, that's exactly what happened to him in San Diego. The ball was just a little bit behind Sherman Smith. Smith couldn't hang on to it.
So now the Seahawks will have to punt the ball. Tony Nathan, a rookie from Alabama, is going back for Miami. And there is Herman Weaver, veteran from a number of NFL teams. Went to Seattle as a free agent. Nathan was a big factor in Alabama's success the last 3 seasons. As Weaver steps back inside his 15-yard line. Booms the ball, not too deep. Be returned. Nathan comes up, takes it at his 39. Good pursuit as the Seahawks sweep down a wave of blue, knocked down Nathan Keith Simpson. Former #1 draft choice was there. Made the hit, and now Miami goes on offense 1st and 10.
With good field position, and if this team is anything like I've heard it is this year so far, with Greasy, Williams, and Zonka in the backfield, they'll drive it right down Seattle's throat. Reminiscent somewhat of 1973 and their Super Bowl teams. 3 very good receivers, 2 outside receivers that are exceptional. Duriel Harris and Nat Moore. Hardy, replacement for
Howard McCrary.
Yes, broke his leg. Andre Tillman broke his leg.
Andre Tillman, McCrary was cut then, so they've got a new look at tight end. Hardy can catch the ball. Now, Greasy at quarterback. In his 13th season, reported to have signed a $400,000 season contract, and he's worth all of it. Here is the throw down the middle on the first play. Delvin Williams swings out of the backfield, catches the ball out at the 47-yard line. And he gains 8 yards on the play. Sammy Green knocks him down.
Well, I can't believe that Delvin Williams ever came to the Miami Dolphins from the San Francisco 49ers, but you can't ask this guy to do any more. Excellent receiver, matched with Larry Zonka. That's a fine backfield. He's the only running back in the history of professional football to set single-season rushing records for 2 separate teams, Miami and San Francisco.
So Greasy puts it up on first down, and now he comes out with a second and about 3, less than 3 actually. Ball out to the 47-yard line. Here is Zonka straight ahead. He was the big back last weekend. Zonka drives down inside the 50-yard line and down to the 46. Larry Zonka busts ahead for a 6-yard gain and a first down.
They love it. He is absolutely a bull. 237 pounds. Don Shula invited him back. He trades Leroy Harris, picks up Norm Bulash. Look at him, dragging him just like he did in 1973.
Last weekend, he was the big factor at Buffalo as the Dolphins had to drive down the field in a rainstorm in the 4th quarter to come from behind. They went to Zonka time and again as they went 77 yards, running the ball every play. Zonka took it in, finished the day with 86 yards rushing and 16 carries, caught 4 passes for 20 more yards. So he's back behind the great offensive line. Shula said the more we threw it, the more he wanted it. Well, we gave
Look at him.
Here's Zonka now in a swing out, and Zonka's inside the 30, fumbles the ball. And Seattle's going to recover it, looks like. Wait a minute, a pile up inside the 15-yard line, and Seattle has the football.
Very unusual for Larry Zonka. One of the real attributes of Larry Zonka is all the banging he does through that offensive line. He very seldom fumbles the football. And this is a big game for Larry Zonka. Home opener against the old folks. Fine play, fine catch. They didn't used to throw the ball to Larry Zonka very much, but he is a rambling wreck. There's no doubt about that. Still, never had great speed. Just got hit. Didn't get hit on the football. That's just not carrying the ball very tightly.
Cornerback Cornell Webster was the guy who hit him, submarined him, knocked out the football. So the Seahawks, beneficiaries of the first turnover this game. And with 11:35 left to play in the first quarter and no score on the board, Seattle has the ball for a second time. Zorn on first down takes a look, lets her go long, and McCullum, turning back on a curl-back pattern, is way short of the football that comes in high. And so that leaves Seattle. You throw in first down, you got 2 downs and a long way to go.
Yes. Miami is primarily a zone defense. So it's going to Seattle's got to give Jim Zorn an awful lot of time to throw the football. He's got to recognize the zone. He's got to go to the guy that's open. That time he threw to the backside of the zone, which is the right guy to throw to. But slightly overthrown. 2nd and 10, Seattle.
San Diego beating Seattle last week 33-16 at the Kingdome. As we mentioned at the outset, the Seahawks had a lot of offensive yardage, but they turned the ball over 6 times, 4 times inside their 36. Zorn on 2nd and 10 takes a look, swings it out. There's a blocker in front of Sherman Smith. And up is Rusty Chambers, number 51, one of the Miami linebackers, to make the hit, but there's a good gain on the play, close to first down yardage.
One of the things about the Seattle offense, Don, is that they will do just about anything to get the ball down the field. Sherman Smith was a quarterback in college, a running quarterback, came to camp as a wide receiver. Jack Patera switched him to running back the first day of camp. He's got good speed, excellent size, and they can throw it to all their running backs and they can get it down the field. Almost a 10-yard pickup. It is 1st and 10.
John Yarno is down over the ball at center as the Seahawks now have the first down at their 25-yard line. There's no score in the first quarter. David Sims and Sherman Smith setbacks. Wide to either side are Largent and McCullum. Zorn has time, goes in the flat to his tight end Brian Peets. Cuts up the middle and gets the ball across the 35 to the 31-yard line for a 5-yard gain on the play. So Seattle, with its diverse offense, everybody catches the ball. Zorn will put it all over the field and accurately moves the ball, throwing it.
But the young tight end made a mistake. When you catch a screen pass, the big guys are coming from the inside. You want to take the ball outside. There's Don Shula. As a receiver, anytime there's a screen, you want to try to get to the outside. That's what your blockers are setting for you. A little more experience. This is the first year he's really started. He'll catch on.
Now Duke Ferguson comes in the game. He is flanked wide to the right. Largent suffered a badly sprained ankle last week, but he's all right. Treatment all week. Ran well yesterday, and he's in the starting lineup. He's wide left.
Here comes the blitz.
They go to the run. David Sims hits close to a first down on a second down carry, but did not quite get there, as Steve Toll, a 235-pound linebacker from Kansas, filled the gap, knocked him down. Chambers was also on the tackle. Shula thinks his Miami defense is substantially improved over a year ago. The Dolphins were the highest scoring team in the NFL, as Larry Zonka apparently took a rap on the shoulder. Maybe it's just an equipment change.
And he was complaining this week of a sore shoulder. Big down for Seattle. Third and about a yard and a half.
So the Seahawk offensive line getting off the ball nicely. This time they go to David Sims, and he takes it across the 35 for the first down.
Each time that Seattle can get a first down like that, rushing against a good defensive line, good linebackers, it gives them a little more confidence. A lot of people here in Miami have picked Miami by 20 points. I don't see it that way. I think it's going to be a very close game.
Weather, as you know, Bob, could be a factor as the day wears on. It is in the 80s. Humidity in the 80s also. And a distinct threat of rain. It's in fact a 70% chance, we're told, so that could be a factor. They are playing on a grass field. This is that prescription athletic turf, it's termed. There's a drainage system under it. It can handle a lot of water. Two new setbacks, Tony Benjamin and Dan Durnick in the Seattle backfield now. On 1st and 10, Zorn ready to put her up again. Lost the handle. Zorn trying to go in the flat, lost the handle on the ball. Brian Peets couldn't get to it, so it'll be 2nd and 10. Apparently the game plan, Bob's going to be gun the ball right at him. Don't try to run at him.
Exactly. There's Jack Patera, and I think his game plan, which is devised by Jerry Rome, the offensive coordinator, is to get as many points as they possibly can quickly. The humidity is going to be a factor on this Seattle football team. They got to get it down the field in a hurry.
8:30 left to play in the first quarter. Seattle with its second possession of the game. There's no score. Miami had the ball its first time, moved right down the field. Zonka on a big gainer on a swing pass, then lost the ball, fumbled it away. Seattle got it back. On a straight ahead carry, Dan Durnick runs into Steve Toll. Durnick got across the 40. Now they're going to spot it right at the 40-yard line of Seattle. Durnick was with the New York Giants as a rookie last year, was traded for draft choices. Very bright young man. He's going to be going to medical school. I want to get back to the Northwest area from Washington State.
And I see Jack Patera is shuffling in his running backs to keep his backs fresh as best he possibly can. Probably a good idea in this oppressive humidity. 4-man rush for Miami.
And 5 defensive backs. The renowned Miami nickel defense. Zorn sprints away from the rush. Sets up deep. And Bob Baumhauer comes in and makes a thunderous hit on Jim Zorn on a 3rd and 8. He takes Zorn and Seattle right out of the picture. They'll have to punt the ball.
One of the problems with the 34 defense is that you just can't get to the quarterback. Bill Arnsparger, the guy who came up with the nickel defense originally a few years ago here in Miami, puts 4 defensive linemen in. Baumhauer, an excellent nose man, had surgery a year and a half ago, came back, excellent football player, tough on those centers on the nose.
Nathan is again back deep now for Miami. Jimmy Cefalo is back there with him, as the Dolphins ready to get their second possession on a 4th and 20 play. Weaver hits the ball, this time better. High downfield, forcing Nathan into a fair catch at his 28-yard line. And the Miami offense comes back out with 7:27 left to play in the first quarter, and still no score on the board.
No psychological advantage for either team. Both were able to drive it. Miami just a mistake.
Bob Greasy at quarterback in his 13th year from Purdue. Final coming in. The Pittsburgh Steelers have blown out the Houston Oilers 38-7. We welcome our other network viewers who've been watching Houston and Pittsburgh. Miami in the white misses. Delvin Williams breaking free for a first down. This is Miami's second possession in the game. There is no score on the board, but Delvin Williams gets ahead for 15 yards and a first down. Out to the Miami 45-yard line before outside linebacker Sammy Green knocked him down.
Once again, Delvin Williams on the underneath handoff. Good blocking up front. There's Larry Zonka. One of the real attributes of Larry Zonka will help Delvin Williams blocking. Sammy Green running down Delvin Williams, and he looks healthy. Delvin Williams does. Sprained his ankle a little bit last week. Those 2 running backs will get a lot of yards.
This is Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy at the Orange Bowl in Miami. No score in the first quarter. 6:45 to play in it. Miami's moved the ball at will. Now they go to Zonka straight ahead to the 50-yard line, but Zonka on the first possession after catching a swing pass fumbled the ball deep in Seattle's area of the field, and the Seahawks stopped the drive and got the ball back. Beeson, the middle linebacker, was covering on the play. Zonka's the big story here in Miami. As you know, he played on those championship teams, was a key member, a signal player in 72 and 73. Then left in 74, went to the World Football League. Later 3 seasons with the New York Giants. And now he's back. The night he returned for his first preseason game, there was an ovation that was thunderous that came down, cascaded down for Zonka. This is his first home game as a Dolphin since 74. 73, actually. Straight ahead, Delvin Williams follows Zonka's block. On a 2nd down and 4 carry, Williams gets a couple of yards. Bill Gregory, the right end for Seattle, was on the stop. Number 77. There's a lot of youth in the defensive front of Seattle. 2 rookies at the tackle, 75 Robert Hardy, and 74 the number 1 choice from UCLA, Mano Tuiasosopo. Ernie Price, 60. Now Ron Lee goes in as a 2nd tight end for the Dolphins as they're going to try to. Greasy, play faking. He takes a look, takes his time, goes out, and his tight end, the 2nd one who just came in, the rookie from Baylor, Ron Lee, couldn't get to the ball.
He was a secondary receiver. Seattle was not full on the play, Don.
No.
Good play fake by Bob Greasy, but the young defensive backs of Seattle read it. Nat Moore was down there deep, but they weren't going to let him get behind him.
For those of you who just joined us, Don Shula is openly optimistic about this Miami team. He says his defense is vastly stronger than it was last season. And with Zonka back to key the offensive power running game, and of course the great play is always from Bob Greasy in his 13th year, he thinks the Dolphins can contend for a 3rd Super Bowl championship. George Roberts, a free agent punter, hits it high. Fair catch is signaled for by Jeff Moore. Now takes a roll downfield, and coming down to make a good play on special teams for Miami is Steve Kozlowski. A rookie from Colorado downs the ball, so Seattle gets it back, but they start in their own area.
So far, Miami is winning the battle of field position.
We'll be back at the Orange Bowl in Miami in a moment.
You've come to fly before the wind, harnessed to a wildcat, leaving the rest of the world behind. So you go for it, making the most of now, from the life you live to the beer you drink. And since 1849, the beer that makes the most out of life is Schlitz.
When you're making it beer, make it this one here. Schlitz makes it great.
Go for it. Today, National Car Rental is one of the big 3 car rental companies. But getting there wasn't easy. Most of our customers came from the other guys. Why? Maybe it's the top condition of our cars. Maybe it's our terrific counter people.
Your car's ready, sir.
Thank you. The other guys tell you how good they are. But if they're so good, how did we get so big? National Car Rental. Maybe we're better.
On this, the 2nd Sunday of NFL 79, there are a lot of surprisingly big scores today. Last week, close games were the order. But today, there have been some blowaways, like Pittsburgh taking out Dan Pastorini and the Oilers. The Steelers winning 38-7. Pastorini leaving that game on a stretcher with a badly jammed right arm, but the X-rays fortunately proved negative. Back to live action. David Sims gets the call, doesn't get much as he tries the middle of the Miami defense and hits Steve Toll. The New England Patriots have just beaten the New York Jets by an almost unbelievable score of 56-3.
That's amazing. New England must have been mad about the fact that Pittsburgh beat them the other night.
Mad about something. Mad at the Jets. Good thing that's a short flight back.
Yes, it is.
Bears have won. They beat the Minnesota Vikings 26-7. They're now 2-0. 2nd down and 9 for Seattle. Zorn's been firing. He's
reverse.
David Sims has the ball, and the Miami Dolphins are there. Rusty Chambers, a linebacker from Tulane, who came here as a free agent, looked at it all the way. Beat the blocker. Out in front was Tom Lynch, and Chambers makes the big hit for Miami.
That's one of the earmarks of a Miami Dolphin defense. They stay at home. They are good fundamental football players. There you see Chambers on the tackle. That's a fool him type of play, and he was not fooled at all. Stayed right where he was supposed to be. Now Seattle comes in with 4 receivers. 3rd down and 10, and a very important series for them.
Bob, I'll let you take your headset off for this final. Buffalo 51, Cincinnati 24.
Goodness gracious.
Jim Zorn guns hard, and Largent is there and lost the ball. It's an incomplete pass. The officials on top of the play. Tim Foley, the 9-year veteran from Purdue, separated Largent from the football when it came in right on the numbers. He had to go up for it, but it was there.
And Miami had 8 guys in coverage, and once again, it's worth repeating, this is exactly what happened to Seattle last week. This is a well-thrown ball. Steve Largent should have caught this in his hands, but not really a bone-jarring enough tackle to knock it out.
Largent, who caught 71 balls last year for over 1,100 yards. Zorn's thrown the ball 6 times now. It's completed 2. Big rush. Weaver does get it away and gets it away well. It's high. Miami will get the ball on their end of the field. Nathan fumbles the football. Miami gets it. Charlie Babb took it away from a Seahawk, but there's also a penalty marker down. And Herman Weaver's pointing at somebody, says, I got roughed.
Well, the first job of the punt receiver is to catch the football. That's all he's got to do back there, Tony Nathan. That might have been a play that turned it around for Seattle. Let's see what the penalty is.
Here's our referee, Jim Tunney, working the game with his crew. Pat Harder's the umpire. Burl Toller's the head linesman. Dale Hammer's the line judge. Back judge is Pat Knight. The side judge is Bob Rice, and the field judge is Don Hakes. Apparently the penalty was against, it was.
Seattle, illegal motion. They declined it. Good field position once again.
The Dolphins will take over in their 44. 3:20 left to play in the first quarter. Still no score on the board. So right now, Greasy and his team have a timeout as they get set to mount their offense.
Want higher mileage? Chrysler Corporation is #1 in gasoline mileage of the big 3. Now Chrysler offers a $400 rebate. Come see your Dodge or Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Make your best deal on these Chrysler and Plymouth cars, and Chrysler will top it with a $400 check sent directly to you. Get a Chrysler New Yorker, get a check. Get a Newport or Cordova, get a check. Get a Chrysler LeBaron
or a Plymouth Volare. Make your best deal and get a $400 check directly from Chrysler.
Get a Dodge Diplomat, get a check. Get a St. Regis, get a check. Get a Magnum, get an Aspen, get a Dodge van or a full-size pickup. Make your best deal and Chrysler will top it with a $400 check sent directly to you. Get a car, get a check. Get a truck, get a check. Get a van, get a check. Come to Dodge or Chrysler Plymouth and check it out.
Next Sunday, start your day with NFL 79. Then it's regional coverage of exciting NFL action. Telecasts include the Patriots-Bengals battle and the Oakland-Seattle clash. Check local listings for the game in your area. NBC Sports. We're proud.
Scores coming in. Again, that final from Pittsburgh. The Steelers beating Houston badly 38-7 in a key AFC Central game. New England blasted the Jets 56-3. Chicago winning its second game 26-7 as Miami Dolphins on offense. Bob Greasy at quarterback. Wide receivers to either side. The ball at the Miami 44. Zonka gets the hole. A trap block up the middle. And Larry Zonka knows what to do behind one of those. Put his shoulder down. He takes linebackers right with him. Finally, Joe Norman and John Harris brought him down.
And Don, that's something we expected on the Miami offensive line. Taking on those young guys. 2 rookies starting in there. Tuiasosopo and Hardy. And he is a load to bring down. A good tackle by Harris, who is from the Miami area. But that is so reminiscent of the Miami Dolphins a few years ago. And in fact, Larry Zonka looks like he's hurting a little bit. Maybe his shoulder is bruised deeper than they originally thought.
He wants to play football, though. He's staying right in there. So the Dolphins now have the ball 2nd and 2 at the 47-yard line of Seattle. No score first quarter. They go back to the run this time. Seattle is there to knock it down. Bill Cook made the play into the defensive line.
Excellent play. Excellent play. Delvin Williams, a very quick back. Can do about anything.
Sandifer and Boyd, the starting tackles who were penciled in to start this year for Seattle on defense, both went out with injuries. So now rookies have to come in, and Bill Cook right now, 5-year man from UMass, is in there. And Carl Eller is in the football game. He's playing left end, number 71. Ron Lee is in for Duriel Harris on 3rd and short yardage. Last time you recall, Greasy threw the flat pass that was poorly thrown.
Reverse.
Nat Moore has the ball, turns the corner, dives, and it looks like he got the first down. He had to get to the 45-yard line. Joe Norman, not a big linebacker, but a quick one from Indiana, made the play.
Good block by Larry Little out in front of it. Nat Moore almost outruns that block. Great quickness and able to turn the corner, and he has presence enough mind to know exactly where that first down marker is.
So right now, with the Dolphins driving, there's a break in the action here at the Orange Bowl. 1:35 left to play in the first quarter. Still no score on the board. We'll be back with the Dolphins on offense in a moment.
I got my start playing golf driving a tractor.
Arnold Palmer, back home in Latrobe, Pennsylvania.
My father was pro here, but before he taught me to play golf, he taught me to treat the equipment right. So we used Pennzoil, and I think that old tractor of ours lasted 30 years or more. Look, if Pennzoil and I hadn't taken good care of the equipment, I might have never gotten on the golf course.
Pennzoil, America's asked-for motor oil.
To soar like an eagle, free, every man's dream. So you go for it, making the most of now. From the life you live to the beer you drink. And since 1849, the beer that makes the most out of life is Schlitz.
When you're making it beer, make it this one here. Schlitz makes it great.
Go for it.
The Miami Dolphins were just called for a holding penalty on a Greasy throw, and so the ball is now set back to the Dolphin 45-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 20 there. Greasy takes a look. Another marker is down, and yet another marker as he throws down the middle. Duriel Harris had the football, then lost it when the defense came in to make the strike. 1:04 to play, first period, still no score.
I think that penalty is going to be on the Seattle Seahawks, jumping offside slightly. The ball must be very slippery today. We've seen a lot of receivers drop the ball. Duriel Harris, normally a receiver with very good hands, dropped that one, although it was thrown a little bit behind him.
Well, a lot of the visiting teams will tell you, you played here, of course, Bob, with the Bengals, that it's not the heat so much as it is the humidity. That makes it tough.
It's very tough, and it's not as bad playing the game as riding home on the plane afterwards. You lose a lot of body liquids here, and believe me, Seattle has got at least a 5.5-hour plane trip back to Seattle. When they get off, they're going to be stiff and sore.
So here's Jim Tunney. Illegal motion in the Miami backfield.
Drew Seattle offsides. Therefore, it's on Miami. Bespeckled Bob Greasy. He can do just about anything back there if you give him enough time, and his offensive line, center, and the 2 guards are exceptional athletes. Bob Kuchenberg playing left tackle. The only guy in the history of the NFL to be all-pro at 2 spots. Tackle and guard.
They moved him to tackle. He said he'd rather be a tackle in the Super Bowl than be a guard watching it at home. He gladly made the switch to help the ball club. It is 1st and 25 now. Greasy takes a look. Swing pass goes out. It's overthrown. Norm Bulash in the game, and another penalty marker as the game starts to get sloppy.
I think that penalty was an illegal block on Miami before the ball was thrown. You can't block downfield until that pass leaves the quarterback's hand. Oh, holding on Seattle. Chicken Little is celebrating. Well, they'll get a first down. That helps them.
They will indeed. Defensive holding, a first down for the Dolphins. That really took them out of the hole. The penalty's only, the assessment is only 5 yards, but most importantly in this case, it is a first down, so that negates all the lost yardage the Dolphins had through penalties. And now 58 seconds left to play in the first period. They had the ball 1st and 10 at their 45. Was just about where they started this offensive drive with Nathan on the punt return. Duriel Harris is wide to the left. They liken him to a small Paul Warfield, a very fluid runner, quick strider, good moves, nice patterns. Nat Moore is the game breaker at the top of your screen now. 22 touchdown receptions in the last 2 seasons. Only 5'9". Zonka, quick hitter, off tackle, drive to the 50. He got 5. Gregory knocked him down. Miami seems to be winning the straight ahead run.
And it's very comfortable as a quarterback to know that you got 2nd and 5 coming up. And a big guy like that, when you get down to 3rd and 1, you can give it to Zonka. And 9 times out of 10, he's going to get it. And I still say Larry Zonka is hurting. I don't think he's tired. I think it's his bruised shoulder. But he's a tough kid.
He definitely had a bruised shoulder, Bob, coming out of that Buffalo game. It was a problem all week. He was listed as questionable for a while. and to probable. And as we see, he's been in there almost the entire game now. As the first period is winding down, 21 seconds, still no score in it. Greasy against the blitz, steps in,
Harris
throws
deep.
long.
Hardy.
Bruce Hardy, the tight end, just a bit long as he was diving down to the 5-yard line, skimmed off his fingertips, and it'll be 3rd down and 5 for Miami. They very nearly hit the home run.
Single coverage. That's kind of tough for Seattle to do on Netmore, Duriel, Harris, and Hardy. All 3 excellent receivers. Fine throw by Bob Greasy, who incidentally throws a very, very soft pass. He doesn't rifle it. He kind of lays it in there like a loaf of bread. Easy ball to catch.
And now, Bob, Miami's offense is going to give the Seattle defense a lot to look at. They've got 3 quick wide receivers in the game. Duriel Harris is in, Nat Moore is in, and the second-year All-American from Penn State, Cephalo. Jimmy Cephalo is also in. And those guys in the backfield can both catch the football. Now they got 5 in as they bring Nat Moore in the backfield with Gary Davis.
Anything can happen here.
Lots of people running patterns. Greasy takes a look. He's got Nat Moore. But there's a penalty marker down again at the line of scrimmage as Nat Moore breaks it down to the 30-yard line and got a first down. If the play goes, it doesn't look like it's going to.
That's not going to go because of offensive holding or tripping against Miami, but that seems almost illegal. Nat Moore on a linebacker, and believe me, that's a tough assignment for a young Seattle linebacker to do. That's going to cost them another 15 yards.
They got 25 on the game, but it comes back as Miami now hit with penalties play after play. They're going to mark it off. Personal foul for tripping. 10-yard assessment, and the ball is set back just inside the Dolphins 40, so it's going to be 3rd and about 16. Time ran out in the first period on the play.
Tied at 0.
So the first quarter comes to an end with the Dolphins moving the ball and then set back by penalties. When we return, Bob Greasy and the offense will have 3rd and long.
On Disney's Wonderful World, it's the comedy classic.
We've got the Florida.
The Absent-Minded Professor. Then, a plane goes down. No one lives.
This is the exceptional Van Heusen Cotton 100 dress shirt from the Bomb. And this is an ordinary iron. Now, the Van Heusen Cotton 100 is more than a great fitting 100% cotton shirt because it never needs ironing. You can wash it again and again and it still comes out of the dryer looking fresh and wrinkle-free. So, say hello to the Van Heusen Cotton 100 and say goodbye to the iron. The $17 Van Heusen Cotton 100. It's available right now in the men's department at the Bond.
Daddy, meet Eddie.
Hiya, Teddy.
Eddie, sir.
New Volkswagen bus, huh? Big sliding door, plenty of room, nice, comfortable seats. Where are you two going?
To the drive-in.
The drive-in. Hey, Flo, kids, come on. Freddie's taking us all to the drive-in.
Daddy.
It's always more fun to take the bus, the new Volkswagen bus, especially if you have lots to carry and a whole family.
Hey, Freddie, would you get us some more popcorn?
This is KING-TV, Seattle.
There is that big final from Foxborough, Massachusetts. New England blowing away the Jets 56-3. The St. Louis Cardinals were behind 14-0 in the first quarter. They came back and beat the Giants 27-14. Chicago Bears were down to Minnesota 7-3. Then Walter Payton started to run the ball into the end zone. Chicago wins its second game as many times out, 26-7. The Buffalo Bills with Roland Hook scoring 4 touchdowns running and Lucius Sanford, a linebacker, scoring 2 more. They blew out the the Cincinnati Bengals. Washington rallied behind Theismann's passing and beat Detroit 27-24. So as we open the second quarter now, this is Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy at the Orange Bowl. No score. Greasy on 3rd and 15. They give him time, that's for sure. Lets it go. Long man is wide open. Duriel Harris catches the ball at the 38-yard line of Seattle for a first down.
Backside of his own, as I said earlier in the broadcast. If you give Bob Greasy enough time, he's going to find a man open. And that offensive line gives him plenty of time. He's looking all over the field. He reads the strong safety, rotating strong, throws to the backside of it. Duriel Harris, almost man-to-man coverage, almost standing alone. That is too loose a coverage on his own to beat Miami.
I'll tell you, the zone, Bob, was looking at 89, Nat Moore again. He came over the middle and gave a lot of problems to a lot of people. He didn't play before. Green Bay beats New Orleans 28-19 today. Dell Williams and Larry Zonk are the setbacks in the Miami backfield. First and 10 Dolphins, 38-yard line of Seattle. Dell Williams, he's been having some problems. Those defensive backs are coming up hard on him. Autry Beeman, 27, came up and filled.
And here's the middle linebacker of the Seattle Seahawks, young Beeson, trying to get it in there. Oh, that's a gang tackle, I would say. That's the way you stop that power. The first hit goes to Autry Beeman, support on the strong safety. Young middle linebacker from Kansas, and the middle linebacker from Miami, Steve Toll, is also from Kansas.
So is Delvin Williams.
Yes.
Delvin Williams, a guy in the Miami backfield, holds 2 all-time rushing records for 2 NFL teams. That one at San Francisco and here at Miami last season when he got over 1,200. Greasy takes a look on 2nd and 8, and he was just throwing it to the turf. Somebody that was eligible was near there, so there was no penalty call as Beeson came on a blitz and the middle linebacker put the heat on, and Greasy wisely got rid of it.
That was a middle screen, but you see the discretion of Bob Greasy, years of experience. He's not going to get anything, so you settle back 3rd and 9 and let it go at it.
Miami goes with some tough formations. They'll bring Nat Moore into the backfield with Gary Davis. They both can catch the ball, and then go with wide receivers and Cephalo and Dariel Harris on most long yardage plays.
And they have that in there right now. Nat Moore, Gary Davis in the backfield, Cephalo, Harris wide, Hardy at tight end.
Cornerback comes up tight on Cephalo. Now he backs off. It is 3rd down, a long 8 for Miami. Penalty marker is down again. Greasy, as the coverage was good, coming over to cover on the play was the free safety John Harris as he took a look at Nat Moore.
Flag is down.
And there's another penalty marker down on the field. Looks like it's going to be against Miami. Shula was not at all happy with an offensive performance that produced just 9 points last week at Buffalo after a high-power offense in the preseason.
Even though it was in the rain.
That could be that case again here today. It looks like rain. It has. We haven't had any so far. It rained earlier in the day.
Illegal motion against Miami declined. 4th down. I'm really surprised at Seattle what they're doing. That 5 wide receiver set. They're blitzing. So that means single coverage in the backfield. Somebody is going to get burnt somewhere on the field here today for Seattle.
Now Miami's punter comes in. There is Jeff Moore going back for Seattle, the rookie back from Jackson State. He's standing inside his 10. George Roberts, now in his 2nd year from Virginia Tech, doesn't hit the real long ball, but he hits a high ball. It's tough to return. 14 minutes to go in the first half, and there's still no score up. Roberts hits it very nicely. It'll carry down close to the end zone. And again, the Dolphins will down it low. They could not down the ball. They're saying they touched it, but official there says it was batted back. The ruling was a touchback. So we have a pause in the action here at the Orange Bowl in Miami. Seattle again goes in offense, but inside. Let's see, it'll be at the 20-yard line when we come back.
I can tell by the happy mood you're in, by that ever-widening grin. You look like you just heard from Dean Witter.
At Dean Witter, your investment program is designed around you and no one else, so you can't help smiling when you hear from us.
You look like you just heard from Dean Witter.
Look what's happened to home heating and air conditioning costs. Up and up. Up over 80% in 5 years. But there's a way you can fight back in your attic. Add another layer of pink Owens Corning fiberglass insulation. Ask your dealer or contractor how much more you need. Fight back against rising fuel costs. Get Owens Corning fiberglass insulation now. It's cheaper than oil.
Here is the punt by George Roberts. You see the Dolphins trying to down it, but they can't gain possession. You have to down the ball. They did not. Babb knocked it into the end zone for a touchback, so Seattle would have benefited by that, and they get the ball at their 20. They would have had it downed inside the 5.
That's a bad mistake. I mean, everybody did it exactly what they're supposed to do, except you should have a designated guy down there to try to catch the football to keep it from going in the end zone. Charlie Babb a little too anxious. Here we go.
Let's see if Zorn comes out gunning the ball. He's been throwing on 1st down. Goes to the run. David Sims is going to throw the ball. He was a high school quarterback. Larkin is open. And David Sims, who has a big gun, let it rip too long.
That's one of the things I like about the Seattle offense. They will try just about anything to get it in the end zone. And I'm not sure that any other defense you run that against, it wouldn't be 6 points. There's a great deal of experience in the defensive backfield from the Miami Dolphins. Almost worked.
Miami's a tough team to score on. They gave up 7 points last week at Buffalo, and that was actually on a blocked field goal attempt and a run back by defensive back Charles Rones. But in their last 4 regular season games dating back to the last 3 of the 78 season, they've given up a total of those 7 points that were scored in Buffalo. That's it.
That's the discipline from Bill Arnsparger. He is a very disciplined coach, and he coaches the defense, and he has specific design for that defense.
So apparently Zorn knows that they're going to have to do some tricks, try to get the ball down deep against Miami. This time they go to the run. David Sims runs with it. Larry Gordon made the stop. Both the running backs, the starting backs for Seattle, quarterback Sherman Smith was a fine quarterback at Miami of Ohio, had great record, lost only 2 games in his 3 years as a starting quarterback. And Sims was a high school quarterback and went to Georgia Tech. They made him a runner.
And both those guys missed 4 games last season and still gained about 800 yards apiece.
Smith says his goal at the outset of the season was to gain 1,000 yards, but then he said he reconsidered. Said my goal now is to play in 16 games. Get the whole season in. Jim Zorn takes a look. Here comes the rush. He triggers the ball. It's going to be intercepted. Ernest Roan. He's not done yet as Ernest Roan takes the ball down to the 26-yard line of Seattle. So the Dolphins intercept Jim Zorn for the first time this day and now have their best field position of the afternoon.
Well, that's what they've got to do to Seattle in order to break up the timing of Jim Zorn and Steve Largent. They got to get pressure on Zorn. Here you see it from the end zone. You'll see who tips the ball. He's got time to throw it. He's got to rush it a little bit. Gordon comes in on a linebacker blitz, just hits it slightly. Roan, the open receiver, and he turns running back a little bit. Miami now has plus field position against Seattle. Here's where they look the toughest.
Zorn has now thrown the ball 7 times, has completed just 2. 1 was intercepted, as you just saw, and so Miami now challenges. 7, they had 6 last week. Greasy takes a look at his wide set.
Here we go.
Either out. Greasy lets her rip. Duriel Harris has the ball and goes out of bounds at the 6-yard line. Duriel Harris, one of the good hands people, goes up and gets it on his fingertips, turns upfield, and is knocked down to the 6-yard line.
And that's experience between quarterback and receiver. Bob Greasy threw this ball just ever so slightly, and I think on purpose. Cornell Webster was right there to intercept it. You see Duriel Harris go back a little bit and catch it. Mistake by Cornell Webster. Look out now for Miami.
So now the Dolphins will be tough to stop as they grind down. Here is a 4th quarter score. The Colts leading Tampa Bay 17-13. 4th quarter score at Baltimore. At the 6-yard line, 1st and 10 Dolphins. There's no score in a penalty marked first half. The drive and the run is going to carry down to about the 3-yard line. Green coming up to fill on the play. Delvin Williams got the ball down close. 2nd and goal now from the 3, Bob.
And with a 237-pound fullback named Larry Zonka blocking for you, you're going to eventually get it in the end zone.
Zonka will take out a linebacker. He's bigger than most of them, and he loves to block. Greasy, that's what Greasy said when he came back. He said, I like him as a runner. I also like to see that blitz coming and some guy get knocked flat with Zonka in there. They think again about blitzing. Dolphins are challenging now. No score. Greasy takes a look, takes his time. He throws. Touchdown, Miami. The ball is taken in by Nat Moore, the man who scored 22 in the last 2 seasons.
I tell you what, Don, I thought it was going to be very difficult for Miami to replace Paul Warfield, but inside the 10-yard line, I don't think there's a better receiver in the NFL than Nat Moore. Fine catch. He was well covered. And that they could have called a pick on it. Here's from the ground level. Fine catch. Excellent catch. Great concentration on the football.
He runs that slap pattern inside the 10. And you see the first points go up on 2 different looks. Our producer today is Roy Hammerman. Our director is Jim Holmes. Von Schaman ready to try the point after as Don Strock will hold.
Oh, he missed it.
Von Schaman, he hits the upright. Tough to do.
Well, there's been an awful lot of talk about Von Schaman. The fans like Garo Yepremian.
But right now, as the Dolphins put the first points up, then missed the extra point, we have a break in the action with 11:56 to play in the first half. 6-0 Miami.
Some guys never learn. They're still taking it on the chin. Gotcha. Norelco offers the Norelco rotary razor. Not 1 or 2 blades, but 36 blades inside 3 adjustable floating heads and a unique shaving angle for a very close shave without a nick or cut. So say hello to the Norelco rotary razor and say goodbye to Gotcha.
Do you know me? Playing football, sure. But my name comes up 0 in English rugby. So when I travel, I carry the American Express card. And even if I fumble and lose it, they'll give me another card fast. Usually the next business day. Lose the card and I'm protected. You can lose your life in there.
To apply for a card, look for this display wherever the card is welcomed.
The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
On NBC's Sports World, top bowlers are out to strike it rich in the $100,000 Great and Greatest Bowling Tournament, plus coverage of Doug Jones' world record high dive attempt, all next Saturday. NBC Sports, we're proud.
Bob Trumpy, this is Don Crickey back at the Orange Bowl in Miami. Here's the replay. Von Schaman, the rookie, tries the extra point, hits the upright, no good. 6-0 Miami. Live action now. Here is Alphonse Hunter, almost busting it as he comes out across the 30 and gets to the 32-yard line. So Von Schaman is quite a story here in Miami. Garo Yepremian, a hero of the Super Bowl years, was cut. They kept the younger, stronger leg. A lot of people think Yepremian should have been kept. Shula made his decision, unpopular as it may have been. You're watching NFL 79 earlier today. You saw the story with 2 renowned place kickers leaving this season, being waived. Roy Jarrell at Pittsburgh, as well as Yepremian.
Garo Yepremian's got more attention in the last week in Miami than he did in 10 years as a player for Miami.
They made a disc jockey out of him. He's on the air now. Here's the give. Sherman Smith is hammered. Gets out to the 34-yard line. Doug Betters, number 75, made the strike on him. Next Saturday on NBC Sports World, the Great and the Greatest Bowling Tournament. 40 of the world's very best are competing at Irving, Texas in a team format. People like Mark Roth and Don Ellis, Tommy Hudson and Joe Joseph. And then the world record high dive attempt. I'll be in Baltimore for that one as Doug Jones goes after the record high dive. He'll be diving into Chesapeake Bay. I hope it's deep enough. The record is 158 feet. He's going to try to break it. That'll be live on Saturday on NBC Sports World. Zorn again is harassed as he drops deep. Miami's getting to him. He's going to large and Vern Denherter's beating the block. He's beating Steve August at the moment.
Or Pete's. I couldn't really tell who that ball was going to, but neither receiver was looking back at the quarterback. Things are not going well for the Seattle Seahawks. There you see the scoring drive.
The interception by Ernest Roan was the key play. The interception of Zorn, that set up the subsequent drive that culminated with Greasy throwing to the end zone to Nat Moore. And it's a 6-0 game. We have 11:04 left to play in the first half. The Seattle Seahawks in blue and silver. The Dolphins linebackers dancing in and out. The drop. Zorn throws. It's caught by Sherman Smith. He breaks it for the first down and more as Sherman Smith is out to the 49-yard line.
As I said, Seattle will do just about anything to get the ball down the field. Jim Zorn has a great deal of confidence in all of the people, offensive people on that field. Good setup against the blitz. That means that Sherman Smith is man-on-man with somebody. And once he gets the ball going north and south, he's tough to bring down. That's a 15-yard pickup. Seattle's in business.
Sherman Smith, 6'4", 225 pounds now in his 4th year for Miami of Ohio. He's been the money back for Seattle. Zorn out of the I set. Takes to the second back, pumps it long. Could be picked off. Broken up. Defending very nicely on the play was Gerald Small, number 48, second-year cornerback from San Jose State. Sudden Sam McCullum went up in the air. Small right with him.
Well, last week Zorn had problems. This week the ball is underthrown on this particular play. If he'd have thrown it the distance he should have, that would have been caught for a touchdown. Zorn is having problems for some reason.
Well, I think 3 of the reasons are Denherter, Baumhauer, and Dewey. They've been smoking every play.
You're right. A.J. Dewey, when he can't get to the quarterback, he'll talk to him. make him know that sometime today he'll be there.
Now Miami sends number 75, a big rangy defensive end from Nevada Reno, Doug Betters, into the game. Barisic is also in. Shula swaps his troops. Actually, Arnsbarger does. Keeps them fresh in this humidity. It's in the 80s, as is the temperature. Zorn on 2nd and 10. Swings it out. David Sims has the ball, and he has running room, and he's not done yet. David Sims is finally down inside the Dolphin 40-yard line. And here is a penalty marker coming in on top of the play.
Unfortunately, a fine play by David Sims is going to be nullified by a clip on Bullard. But you can't really blame him. He was trying to help out as best he possibly could. Good cutback by David Sims. Fine play. Using the screen, I take it. Miami's defensive linebackers get very, very deep, so they got to throw the ball underneath. Let their running backs run with it. They got a little discussion going here.
Talking to Shula before the game, Bob, he was very concerned about defensing Seattle. These teams have played once before. The last time they played was here in the Orange Bowl in '77, in Seattle's second year. Miami won that game 33-14. Zorn didn't quarterback then, though. Myers was a quarterback, and Shula says, you don't know what Zorn's going to do. We've got a good defense, but he'll show us things we haven't seen before.
And also, there's no defense in professional football. The defense is against the quarterback running, and he is an excellent running quarterback. There you see they're going to spot the ball from, it was after the play was dead.
Still 2nd down.
You had the guy. It was Lewis Bullard. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Miami Dolphins and the National Football League is prohibited. Right now, we've got a 6-0 game on the board. 10:05 left to play first half. Miami on defense. Seattle on offense. Zorn will be throwing 2nd down and 12. Says they have it, and so does the head linesman. So now, on their last 2 possessions, the Seahawks have turned the ball over. And you can see that David Sims isn't aware of what happened.
Seattle is very, very disorganized. Normally, they're a fine knit machine on offense, Don.
That big defensive front of Miami's come in and put the slug on Sims. Free football. Miami has it back when we return in a moment.
In business, the more efficiently you use your time, the more money you make.
Time is money.
So if you're spending hours dictating letters to far-off places, and hours are spent typing them,
I've got other work to do.
Kick the letter habit. Pick up your phone and give them a ring. The phone turns your time into money.
Super automotive values from Sears. The Sears 36 battery is now on sale. It's loaded with starting power and it's maintenance free. At only $37.99 with trade-in, you save $7 on Sears 36 battery. Save now on SuperGuard steel belted radios. Steel belted strength, smooth ride, radio performance, super values too. Save $40 to $76 on a set of 4. At Sears, where America shops for value.
A brutal rape, and now her mother's out for justice.
The accused has a right to a trial in 60 days. What about the victim?
Mrs. R's daughter, Wednesday, September 19th.
Back live now at the Orange Bowl in Miami. On the last play before we broke, David Sims ran straight ahead. Doug Betters hit him head on, knocked him unconscious, and also separated Sims from the football, which Miami's Vern Denherter recovered. Here's a score from Baltimore. It is now updated still more. Just in, there's been another score by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They scored on an intercepted pass by Mike Washington, a 53-yard return to go ahead 2017. They just scored on a touchdown pass from Doug Williams to Gordon Jones from 37 yards. So they're out in front 26-17. It's 14-3, San Diego over Oakland. They're playing at San Diego. Dan Fouts has thrown for 2 touchdowns. One to the touchdown man, John Jefferson, the other to Bob Klein. Dallas and San Francisco tied up 3-3 in the first quarter. And right now, Cleveland's in front of Kansas City. 10-0, a first quarter score. Cockcroft to field goal. Brian Sipe to Reggie Rucker for a touchdown. And unfortunately, Bob, they brought the stretcher out. David Sims going to go off.
I can't really tell how he got hit or what he hurt. We'll see it. We'll see it as best we possibly can. They didn't get the football to David Sims very cleanly. Well, he may have just jammed his neck. They're putting him on the stretcher and being very careful not to move his neck. They got the board underneath him, but he was moving his legs. He was moving his arms. We'll try to get a report on the... You can see his feet moving slightly. I don't think there's any paralysis or any problem like that. He does have weights on his head to keep it there, though. Taking no chances with David Sims. We'll get the report on his injury as soon as we possibly can.
David Sims rushed the ball 7 times for 12 yards, so he goes off. Hit on a driving tackle by Doug Betters that forced a fumble, and the Dolphins have the ball back. They lead 6-0, 9:57 to play in the first half. We'll watch it again.
Let's see if we can see exactly what happens. He does hit Betters head on. No, it's Ernest Roan head on. Ernest Roan head on, and he looks like he's out before he hits the ground.
Betters came from the side and got the first hit in.
You say you want to play professional football, huh, kid?
I never said that.
Don't.
It is now first down and 10. 50-yard line. Greasy hands off. Delvin Williams on the power sweep. Ed Newman with a good block. But there is another penalty marker down. The Dolphins have had a problem with penalties.
Thrown right at the feet of Larry Little, one of the premier pulling guards in professional football. But occasionally you get caught. Holding, flipping. Flipping on Miami. I think it's going to be against Larry Little, too.
Clipping, 66, still first down.
Chicken Little.
Chicken Little.
Larry Little.
A lot of years in the business. He knows what he's doing, but occasionally, oh yes, you see climbing up the back of the legs of Joe Norman. That's illegal unless it's inside the tackle.
Larry Little, 13 years out of Bethune-Cookman. There's a lot of experience in that offensive line. Kuchenberg, the left tackle, cut by Atlanta and Philadelphia. Came to the Dolphins from the Chicago Owls. He's in his 10th year now with the Dolphins. Langer, the center, in his 10th year. Larry Little in his 13th year. Mike Current, the right tackle, in his 13th year. And Greasy ready to throw the ball in his 13th year. He unloads to Norm Bulash. Big Boo, power back from Texas Christian, who was summoned back to this team after he retired. Gets the ball out to the 49. You hear the boo chant come up.
Always an excellent receiver, no matter where he played. Baltimore and Miami. Was at times subject to muscle pulls, but when he catches the football, he's like Zonk. He's very difficult to bring down. Greasy had lots of time, and once again that presence of being in the league for a lot of years, motioning his receivers to get open.
Miami has been penalized in the game 4 times. An assessment against them of a total of 35 yards. There's been 2 calls against the Seahawks for 20. Right now, it's going to be 2nd down and 12 for the Dolphins. The ball at their 48-yard line. They lead the game in the second quarter, 6-0. An interception by Ernest Roan set up the drive. Greasy threw to Nat Moore for the score. Greasy gets out of it. Now, this is the new rule. You see, the referee, Jim Tunney, is right there. One of his prime responsibilities in overseeing the game as the referee is to protect the quarterback, to watch that he doesn't get unduly hit. And once it is determined that the quarterback is captured, before he's struck and knocked down, they can blow the whistle and down the ball, and that was the call there.
And the people here in the Orange Bowl, they didn't object much. They'd much rather have Bob Greasy healthy. He missed 5 games last year with a very, very bad knee.
Lots of NFL football next Sunday here on NBC. The day starts off, of course, with NFL 79 with Bryant Gumbel and Mike Adamle. The 1 o'clock games, Patriots and Bengals at Cincinnati. Denver at Atlanta, Baltimore at Cleveland. 2 o'clock game. Miami goes to Minnesota, Kansas City at Houston. And then the 4 o'clock games, some big ones. Oakland goes to Seattle. Pittsburgh at St. Louis. Buffalo, a big winner today at San Diego. Now, the Dolphins want to counsel Bob Greasy. Shula signals for him to call a timeout. He takes it with 8:25 left to play. In the first half, Miami leading 6-0. We'll be back in a moment.
Colleen Bob just got a Plymouth Volare and a $400 check from Chrysler Corporation.
I'm pleased with the price of my Volare, but this $400 check helped me get the stereo and pay for my insurance.
Now's the time to buy. Chrysler Corporation's giving dealers big cash incentives they can pass on to you. And only Chrysler tops your deal with a $400 check. Not Ford, not GM. Come to Chrysler Plymouth. Check it out.
Meet the only Steeler with a tougher body than mine.
You're looking at one Steeler that can dish it out, and one Steeler that can take it.
Uniroyal presents the Steeler Radio. It's built tough with 2 steel belts, and it's tough to beat when you look at its price.
When it comes to keeping his feet, there is only one Steeler I can't beat.
The Uniroyal Steeler. You want a tough tire at a price that's fair? You want Uniroyal there.
On NBC's Sports World, top bowlers are out to strike it rich in the $100,000 Great and Greatest Bowling Tournament, plus coverage of Doug Jones' world record high dive attempt, all next Saturday. NBC Sports, we're proud.
Big Jack Patera looks on as we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
You're watching KING TV, Seattle.
The report on David Sims is that he has a head injury. They are going to take x-rays. No problem with his neck whatsoever. As soon as we find out, Seattle, we'll tell you what it is.
Right now we go to live action. Miami is shifting the offensive set. Hardy, the tight end, comes right. Here's the power side. Little's out in front. Newman's out in front. Running with the ball is Gary Davis, and he breaks it down inside the 45-yard line of Seattle. Gary Davis on a 3rd and a long yard. A 3rd and 23, almost got it all. That was needed for the first down. Gets it down to the 42.
Okay, what Miami does here is they put in their passing backfield. Gary Davis, Norm Bulash, and go with the run. Chicken Little on the sweep along with Newman. Good breakaway back. Nat Moore even gets a block. 23 yards. Yes, sir. Miami is a very versatile offense, to say the least.
But it came up short on the run on 3rd down, so we have the punt again by George Roberts. Again, he hits it long. This one will carry into the end zone. George got out of that one, so it comes out to the 20 on a touchback. And Seattle, unable to move the ball very consistently, goes on offense 1st and 10 with 7:43 left to play in the first half. The Dolphins leading the game 6-0. Bob Greasy throwing to Nat Moore from in close for the touchdown after Ernest Roan had set up that drive with a pass interception of Zorn.
When it comes to clean blades, Track 2 doesn't come close.
Atra doesn't come close.
Why are thousands of Track 2 and Atra users switching to Schick Ultrex? Watch. One push pushes out soap and stubble. Your twin blades start clean, sharp, shave after shave. Look, Ultrex slides on Track 2 razors, clicks on Atra razors.
Now this is really clean shaving.
With one push cleaning, nothing comes close to Schick Super 2 Ultrex.
Hey, how was bowling?
I'd rather be eating.
A bottomless pit.
Grabbing a quick burger?
We're getting Kentucky Fried Chicken.
The Colonel only uses fresh quality chicken, like I do.
And the way hamburger prices are going, it's nice to get a good, sensible meal at a good, sensible price.
Hey, I'm a going boy.
It's so nice, nice to feel. So good about a meal. So good about Kentucky Fried Chicken.
From the Orange Bowl in Miami, this is Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy. The Dolphins lead in the second quarter 6-0 over Seattle. Greasy throwing to Nat Moore for the game's only score. There have been a lot of penalties in the game as the Seahawks in blue now take over the ball after a touchback on a punt. 1st and 10 at their 20. This is the Dolphins' home opener and the return in the regular season of Larry Zanka. For the first time in 5 seasons, Jeff Moore tries to go wide, and Miami's fired up defense led by Chambers and Barisic. Both these guys were free agents coming in here. Barisic out of Princeton, Chambers out of Tulane.
And so far, Seattle has done nothing. Uh-oh. I'm glad I brought my umbrella. That's coming our way. Anyway.
It is coming our way. Glad Hurricane David's out of here, but there's something named Gloria lurking off the coast.
And Frederick, a hurricane. Yes, another one coming.
So here we go with Seattle now, 2nd down and 12. The ball at their 18-yard line. Zorn, he's going to gun it. Takes a look with the left hand. Downfield, he hits McCullum for a first down. And Sudden Sam is out to the 40. Steve Toll finally knocked him down, but Zorn strikes for the big gainer. I was doing a Seattle game one time with Sonny Jurgensen. He's down the field. Zorn wanted to know what he thought of his passing style. Jorgensen watched him throw. He says, you do everything right except one thing. Zorn said, what's that? He says, you throw it with the wrong arm.
No, he doesn't. He has got a real gun for a left arm. So far, Seattle hasn't done much to keep the Miami defense all honest. They got to establish something. They have nothing going for them at present.
They've not been consistent with the run. Zorn, no, he can move you downfield with a couple of quick swings of that arm. He's going to try it again now. Deep drop, loops it out. Oops, free football. Jeff Moore left it hanging, and those Dolphin backers back in his zone covers moved up on it. They couldn't get to it.
And Jim Zorn's a little mad at himself. I'm not sure it's his fault. The ball seems to be bouncing off the receiver's hands with pretty good consistency. He had plenty of time to throw it.
Well, the humidity is very much a factor. The temperature is in at about 85 to 86 degrees. The humidity has to be as high, and there is a thunderstorm coming this way, I don't believe.
Any bad weather works against Seattle. They've got to throw the football to win this game.
I used to see those in Indiana, but they call them tornadoes.
Yes, they do. Don't say that. Don't say that.
Second down and 10. Zorn takes a deep drop. Here's the big rush by Betters. He gets him and knocks him down. Doug Betters playing a lot of football for Miami. He caused one fumble, and now he gets the sack on Jim Zorn.
That's also on the young man Bullard, taking the place of Nick Bebo, who is out with back spasms. And offensive tackles must set up with their rear end facing the quarterback. Betters just got around Bullard, and there was nothing to do. Quick whistle by the official to protect the quarterback. And it's third and a bunch. 2 sacks by the Dolphins today. And Seattle gave up, what was it, 48 last year? Entirely too many.
Miami was a good sacking club last year, although they gave up a lot of points. They had over 40 sacks as a team. Zorn with a long yardage play now. 3rd and 19. Swings it out. Nope, doesn't count, Rabel. You got to catch it. This isn't basketball.
That's a lack of concentration. This is so unlike the Seattle Seahawks receivers. And they're not going to win a football game if they continue to do that. But it's a long way from over. Here comes the win.
I don't know what's coming in here, but I don't think it's good.
Batten down the hatches, I think, is the line, right?
Something's going to hit this field in a couple of minutes that none of us are going to believe.
And the Miami people are used to it.
Yeah,
nobody's moving.
That makes me feel better.
Whoa.
Here's a punt by Herman Weaver. Tony Nathan, the Alabama back, takes it over his shoulder at the 8. Weaving. He's not done yet. Tony gets out to the 16 or 17-yard line. So this time the Dolphins will go on offense from inside their own 20. They've had fairly good field position most of the game. There's a program on Saturday mornings on NBC that you'll enjoy, a children's program called Time Out. Deals with physical education, physical fitness through sports. You'll see a lot of the top people in the world of sports like Bruce Jenner and Merlin Olsen, Mike Adamle, Gary Coleman, the Harlem Globetrotters on Time Out. Saturday mornings on NBC. 5:22 left to play in the first half. Dolphins 6, Seahawks nothing. Miami and Greasy on offense, 1st and 10. Nat Moore in motion. He makes them nervous in the secondary. Oops, there's a free football. Seattle has the ball. So the Seahawks get the big turnover now, and they'll be ready to challenge inside the Miami 20.
And that ball was nowhere close to getting into the stomach of Delvin Williams. That's a mix-up by each team on a handoff and an exchange quarterback to running back. Recovered by Sammy Green. Well, Seattle's ball. Here we go. Let's watch it. He gets it through his arms. The quarterback is supposed to put it between the 2 and the 4. He just reached in there too far. Green on the recover. Seattle's ball inside the 20-yard line, and all this young team needs is a little confidence.
The give, and running high with the ball is Dan Durning, the Washington State fullback, as he drives the ball down to the 16-yard line. He gets it down to the 16-yard line. A 2nd down carry coming up after a pickup of 4. Bob Matheson was on the tackle.
Bob Matheson, he must have played for 25 years. They named the 53 defense after him. Bill Orangeburger did. Here we go.
So now Seattle is mounting a challenge. Largent is wide to the left. Dolphins give up the run very begrudgingly. In close. Zorn might be pumping, but the rain has started to fall and fall hard. Zorn takes the drop. The whistle blew before the play started.
Too much time.
Too much time. And now torrents of rain are pelting down Miami, Florida. And most specifically the Orange Bowl. The umbrellas come up. The slickers come out. Nobody's leaving, but it's going to be tough to play football.
And Seattle has got to get a touchdown on this drive.
Our producer Roy Hammerman has just checked with the Seattle locker room, and David Sims, we're happy to report, has x-rays being taken, but as a precautionary measure only. They think he's going to be all right. He was taken out earlier. If you joined us late after a hard hit, he fumbled the ball. Miami got it. Now the rain driving down here at the Orange Bowl in Miami. It's going to be 2nd down and 11. Zorn starts to run. He's not going to get there. Baumhauer runs him down.
I think that was a design play. Quarterback draw. He wasn't pressured that much. And as I said earlier, no defense in professional football, college or high school, is set up to protect against the quarterback running. And with a rain like right now, 6 points with an extra point would be a very, very big score right here.
All along there has been the specter of a hard rain going to fall here in Miami, and it's coming down now as the Seahawks have their best field position of the game. They're trailing 6-0, 4:05 to play in the first half. 3rd down and 12 coming up from the Dolphin 22. It'll be tough to handle the ball, to throw it or to run with it. Well done. Here's a free football. Miami might have it. Dolphins say they got it. The official says the Seahawks have it. Now Jim Tunney steps in. Let's peel off some of these guys and see what's at the bottom.
Well, they still haven't decided exactly who's got it. Oh, they say Seattle keeps it. But with a wet ball and this humidity, Don, it is very, very difficult to keep your hands dry enough to try to hang on to the football. Here comes Efren and Herrera for a field goal try, and it does appear that it's going to rain here for quite a while, Don.
Very overcast, driving rain falling at the Orange Bowl in Miami. It was threatening all morning. And now with 3:49 left to play in the first half, and the Dolphins in the lead 6-0 on a Greasy to Nat Moore touchdown pass following an interception. The Seattle Seahawks will be looking for their 4 points on an Efren Herrera field goal attempt.
Yes, but if you're Jack Patera in a rain like this, would you be willing to try a fake?
And you look who the holder is, number 10.
Absolutely, I would. We'll see what happens.
They want points, and Herrera got it nicely. Efren Herrera drives it up and through, and so the Seahawks are on the board with 3:33 left to play in the first half. It is Miami 6, Seattle 3.
I guess that's why nobody's ever asked me to be a head coach.
There goes Efren back. He was a Dallas Cowboy, wanted more money than they were willing to pay, was traded to Seattle for a draft choice, had a big season last year. Soccer player, spends his time at practice working out with a soccer ball.
And appears to be very, very good, too.
He does. So we got Major League Baseball next Saturday. It'll be at 4 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, Cincinnati at Los Angeles, as the Reds again regained the top spot yesterday in the National League West, going against their arch rivals, the Dodgers. Houston and San Francisco, the other game on Saturday. And of course, Major League Baseball, an inside look, the pregame show prior to it. That's at 4 o'clock Eastern Time next Saturday here on NBC. That'll be following Sports World, the team bowling competition from Texas, and the world record high dive attempt live from Baltimore. I tell you, when it rains here, it doesn't kid.
Yes, it is really raining, but that field should stay pretty dry. We should have good footing. It's just going to be tough to hang on to the football, Don. Now that it's got to favor Miami with those 2 big running backs that can try to run it down Seattle's throat. We'll see what happens.
Boy, these people in Miami are ready for rain now.
Doesn't bother them.
It doesn't bother them at all. Here's the kickoff, but we're going to see a lot of football squirting loose. Tony Nathan protects the ball, put 2 hands on it, or it's going to be somebody else's. He does not. Nathan holds on going down. He gets to the 17-yard line. Good play on the special teams by Rabel and Mark Bell. An absolutely unbelievable torrent of rain falling.
You know why the people out here don't mind it so much? They all came down here 25 years ago on vacation and stayed. So they're still on vacation. 3:22 left in the first half.
Actually, it cools it off. It was very hot. That was a factor that would have worn these teams down. Now Miami goes in offense. Now Bob Greasy. Here's a second quarter score. San Diego socking it to Oakland.
2 weeks in a row.
4-3.
Lots of points by San Diego.
Greasy knows how to quarterback a game in this weather, and it's usually given to Zonka for a while. He's the only setback behind him. Zonka gets the football. You go to the big guy who doesn't cough it up, or not usually. He did once today, you may remember, after the swing pass got the big yardage, then lost it way down at the Seattle end of the field.
And this is exactly what they did last week in Buffalo when the rain hit. Gave it to Zonka and let him run with it. If you see Larry Zonka get up here, he is favoring his shoulder, the bruised shoulder he got last week. 2 tight end offense. They're just going to try to run it down the field, giving it to Larry Zonka. When he gets tired, they'll give it to Delvin Williams.
Well, I said we had a 70% chance of rain, and that has now gone up to a 110% chance.
You are an excellent
It's
weather.
here. Zonka's run with the ball 4 times for 25 yards. Greasy's going to throw. Lets it go. Out there is Duriel Harris. And off a wet uniform and perhaps off an outstretched hand of Dave Brown, one of the cornerbacks, 22. The ball is knocked free.
Excellent play by Dave Brown.
Tampa Bay holding on at Baltimore, 26-23. They're having a lot of fourth quarter there. Tampa Bay scored twice in the fourth quarter to come from behind.
You can't keep them away from football in Miami. You just can't. Miami had to stay in New York for 2 days until Hurricane David left the Miami area, then came home, kind of swept up, went to work.
There was a time you could keep them away from football. They had a bad team here as an expansion club. Then came Shula.
Yes, I played against the Dolphins pre-Shula. You're absolutely right.
From 3-10-1 the year before he came, they went to 10-4 his first year. Another pass. This one's caught. Gary Davis gets it, but there is a penalty marker down at the line.
In the area of offensive holding.
Big Robert Hardy is signaled holding. That's right.
2 rookie defensive linemen in there for the Seahawks. And playing in the Kingdome. They don't get much rain up there.
At halftime, it'll be NFL 79 from New York. An update with Bryant Gumbel and Mike Adamle on all the scores around the National Football League on this, the second weekend of the 79 season. 2:28 left to play.
71, 10 yards, still 3rd down.
Mike Current, the right tackle, was tripping. We've had that call twice against the Dolphins now in the first half.
And Bob Greasy
scores.
Bob Greasy still throwing the football in this rain, although it has let up slightly, not very much. He's got to throw it this time, 3rd and about 16.
Carl Eller is in at left end. He'll be coming at Greasy on a 3rd and 15 play. Greasy often goes to his backs this down in yardage. Running with the ball is Davis. And he brings the ball out to the 15-yard line. That'll bring up 4th down. And so now George Roberts will try to punt the ball for Miami in a difficult situation. He'll take that long, hard snap in the rain and back deep with an equally difficult assignment. Looking to field the punt will be rookie Jeff Moore, number 32. There is Roberts from Virginia Tech in his 2nd year. Shula likes him. The lights come on now at the Orange Bowl. Now the 2-minute warning is given. With the score, Miami 6, the Seattle Seahawks 3. We'll be back with the Miami punt in a moment.
The river's running high and wild to someplace you've never been. Carving a path out of the earth. Whitewater, alive, free. And you can never tame it. But for the chance to ride the rolling thunder and feel the power of freedom, you go for it. Making the most of now. From the life you live to the beer you drink. And since 1849, the beer that makes the most out of life is Schlitz. That's why every day, millions of times a day, America reaches for a Schlitz.
When you're making it beer, make it this one here. Schlitz makes it great.
Go for it.
Back at the Orange Bowl, you see our NBC sideline cameraman.
Even a raincoat for the camera, yes. Most important part of this play is the center, Mark Dennard, getting the ball back to George Roberts. Don't snap it over his head. Make sure it's a good snap.
Now the rain is let up, just about stopped. Shula likes George Roberts because he gets the ball away quick. He did there. Now takes a hop back upfield. It's down to the Dolphin 45-yard line. And Seattle go on offense 1st and 10. We were talking at the outset about the fact the Seahawks are starting 3 rookies on defense today. But a couple of years ago in '77, Shula started 5 here at Miami on defense, 5 first-year players, and they won 10 games.
Yeah, it's amazing. Miami's been in the business a lot longer than the Seahawks, and 12 rookies made the Miami team this year. Only 7 made the Seahawks. Now, if you thought Zorn was going to throw it before, we should see a real air show here with 1:50 left. Go to the 2-minute offense. Try to get another 3 points, hopefully a touchdown.
Seattle offense now with less rain to contend with. The sun's still falling, but not nearly as heavy as it was, and Zorn's going to fire it right up into the water. Here's a knockdown and almost an interception. Denherter had the ball. Denherter would have taken it some 40 yards straight ahead if he had held on. I don't know how he could have with the thing thrown right at his numbers.
Well, that's one of the jobs of the defensive lineman. Once you get control of the offensive tackle, he was coming in on August, is get your hands up, make it difficult for the quarterback to throw over you. Here you can just see Denherter getting by August on the top, and Denherter, the veteran, gets his hands up. Sherman Smith was wide open. There he is. Very little publicity for that gentleman, but a good player.
9th year from Central Iowa, Vern Denherter. Zorn takes a deep drop. Looking long, he fires down the middle, and a nice reception is made, but a penalty marker goes down. There's a penalty marker down at the Miami 40. Rabel went up and got the ball. Rabel's a team comedian.
Once again, 8 guys in coverage here. They rushed just the 3 defensive linemen, and Zorn taking advantage of it, throwing it underneath the linebackers. I think the penalty is going to be a little extracurricular activity. Oh, blocking on Seattle. No penalty.
Steve Rabel, who caught the ball, and then it came back. It'll be 3rd and 10. Says John Thompson, the general manager, negotiates the contracts at Seattle, is the best general manager in football. I was just telling Mr. Thompson that. Rabel said this morning when I was shining his shoes.
What the more you can do.
Zorn on 3rd and 10 takes a deep drop. He's got some time, swings it out. Whoops, lost ball, intercepted. Bob Matheson inside the 40, 30. Bob Matheson trucks on down, not done yet. He's down inside the 20. Well, Bob Matheson, a 13-year veteran from Duke, who was called on to start today because of the injury to Kim Bokamper, comes up with a 2nd interception of Zorn. Another linebacker, Ernest Roan, got the 1st.
Once again, that's on the receiver. That was a fine pass by Jim Zorn, just out in the flat. Just trying to take advantage of the defense that Miami had up against him. You'll see the ball go right through his hands, right to Bob Matheson, who has played for eons. And he rumbles down the sideline like an old fullback. Puts his shoulder down against Jim Zorn right here. Oops, stepped out of bounds. Fine play once again. Miami's got a chance to put a score on the board.
Greasy comes in to direct the offense. He's thrown 12 times, has completed 7 for 90 yards and a touchdown. Zorn is 5 for 17 for 67 yards, and of course has been intercepted twice. So now the Dolphins are challenging. Lulas in the backfield. Greasy takes a look, has to hurry, goes downfield. Circus catch. Duriel Harris comes back at the ball.
Absolutely. That's the #1 thing a receiver has to do, is once he makes his break, come back towards the quarterback. No defensive back in the world can stop you. Now he throws a little duck up there. The ball's wet, but Duriel Harris, good concentration on it. Catches it for the 1st down on the 15 of Seattle.
Duriel Harris has now caught 3 balls. That one was good for a 1st down.
Watch for Nat Moore here.
Nat Moore comes out on the right flank. Cornell Webster's against him. Uriel Harris is to the left. Dave Brown's against him. They go to the run. Gary Davis on the power sweep. Big play. Shooting the gap first and helping on the hit, slowing up the runner, was Ernie Price, who's in at defensive end, number 62. He came right through the gap.
I don't think that was a very well executed play by Miami.
38 seconds left to play in the 1st half now, so with long yardage coming up, the Dolphins take a timeout to talk this over. We'll be back in a moment.
This room
there are usually 9 or 10 infants, playing, laughing, learning what it feels like to be loved. We can't show you their faces because they are victims of child abuse and neglect.
I'm Archery Beeman of the Seattle Seahawks, and this is the Seattle Day Nursery, an agency supported by United Way.
Here, they give love back to little children whose parents have agreed to seek help. In many cases, they were often abused or neglected themselves as children. No one knows how many abused children there are, but here in Seattle, there's a small ray of hope, thanks to a lot of volunteers who want to share the meaning of love.
Thanks to them, thanks to you. It works for all of us, the United Way.
The preceding announcement was furnished as a public service by the National Football League. With Bob Trumpy, this is Don Criqui, Orange Bowl in Miami. Temperature in the 80s. A hard rain has fallen here in the second quarter. Now it's abated somewhat. 38 seconds left to play in the first half. The Dolphins scored the game's only touchdown in a greasy touchdown throw, but the extra point was no good. Hit the upright. Seahawks scored an Efren Herrera field goal. Now Miami, with 38 seconds left, has the ball. Second down and 13 on the 18-yard line of Seattle. But just 38 seconds left in the half. 3 downs to go for Miami in this sequence. Throw! Nat Moore had it and lost it. He took a hard shot. John Harris, the free safety, 44, and Dave Brown combining on the coverage. They're
playing total zone back there, trying to keep Nat Moore out of the end zone. 33 seconds left. I imagine Bob Greasy will now call 2 plays in the huddle. In case one works, they won't have to line up again, but we are approaching a situation where Mr. Von Schaman once again must try to kick a field goal, possibly. Cephalo in. They'll have 4 receivers in now for Miami.
Coming up next, NFL 79, an update on the second weekend of the 1979 season with Bryant Gumbel and Mike Adamle. Right now we have 31 seconds left. Greasy takes a look. He's going to have to do something in a hurry. Let's a rip. Ball was in the arms and then out of Duriel Harris down at the 10-yard line. Now the noise starts up as 4th down arises, and Von Schaman, the rookie place kicker, comes out.
Half the fans are rooting for Von Schaman to give him confidence, and the other half remember Garo Yepremian.
Von Schaman can take pressure, though. When he was at Oklahoma, he made 125 extra points in a row. In the big game at Ohio State, he had a 41-yarder to beat Ohio State at Columbus. Woody Hayes called 2 timeouts to get him to think about it. The chant was going, block that kick, and during the timeouts he was waving his arms, directing and singing.
But that doesn't count now. That doesn't count now, Don.
But tells you something about him, though.
Agreed.
He's into that one. He's got it.
Okay.
Von Schaman hits his field goal attempt, and Miami takes a 9-3 lead. Look at the Dolphins come out and say, hey, guy, you're one of us.
Well, if Garo Yepremian has a seat in the stadium, the stock in Garo Yepremian just went down. I feel good for the young man. He is an excellent kicker. Watch his arms. Keep your eye on Von Schaman. Finally. Come on, Uwe. There you go. I love it.
Uwe Von Schaman, drafted in the 7th round. Out of Oklahoma. He was born in Berlin, Germany.
Well, that takes some of the pressure off of him. It's very difficult for a place kicker in the professional ranks. It's, you know, you just come in maybe twice a game, and you got to do it, and you got to do it every time.
Well, when he went home that day, the cuts were going to be made. One of the writers asked him, what are you going to do? It was either going to be him or Yepremian. They're going to fire the next morning. He said, I'm going to do what I do every day after practice, drink beer. What can I do about it? I'm not. Shula makes that decision. Al Hunter is back deep. Back with him is Jeff Moore. 9-3 Miami. 20 seconds to play in the first half. Von Schaman into the ball, and here comes Al Hunter. 3-yard line. He's to the 10. He's to the 15. Breaks up field, turns to the outside. He's a 9-300 man. He turns the corner, gets across the 25, out of bounds at the 26-yard line. Jeff Groff, rookie special teams player from Bowling Green, ran him out of bounds. Talking about that Rabel earlier, Bob. Time he's at a speaking thing, and he was talking about how much Jack Pateri says it seems that coach, the more we win, the bigger he gets. Big Jack's up to about 270. Got a lot of laughs. Patera got up after. He says, Rabel, I'm glad you finally found a business you can make a living at.
Yeah, there are several things you don't do in professional football. One is take on the head coach. That's for sure. One. Shula and Jack Patera were teammates on the Baltimore Colts in the late 50s.
Zorn's got people wide to either side. He's going to swing out 5, and he takes a look. He's got some time over the middle. Ball is caught by Largent. He's ahead for a first down, but time is of the essence now, and it's winding out on the Seattle Seahawks. 6 seconds to play. They signal for and are allotted a timeout. So Zorn will have time for a home run ball.
Why not? He could throw it down there, maybe get an interception. Stranger things have happened. Tell you what, that extra point looms very, very big. The Seattle Seahawks are certainly within striking distance. Only 6 points behind. Efrain Herrera is a consistent kicker from placement. Don Shula on the sideline knows that very well.
So 6 seconds show on the clock. It is a 9-3 game. Miami moved the ball very well the first 2 times they had it. But Zonk, after catching a swing pass, fumbled the ball to stop what looked like it might be a scoring drive. Then later, Ernest Roan intercepted a Jim Zorn pass. And shortly thereafter, Greasy threw to Nat Moore in the end zone, where the touchdown gave Miami a 6-0 lead. Extra point hit the upright. Then the Seahawks came back. They got the ball on a turnover, and shortly thereafter, Efrain Herrera kicked a field goal. And now Miami on Van Schomen's long hit has taken a 9-3 advantage as we're almost at halftime and almost ready to go to New York for NFL 79. An update on the scores and stories of this day in the National Football League. Some big numbers racked up. Buffalo routing Miami with a 51-point day. The Jets with a 56-3 loss to New England. Zorn takes a look. There's the home run ball. There's more Dolphins than there are Seattle Seahawks. And the clock runs out. Zorn took a shot too just as he released it, but he's up like a greyhound running off the field. Baumauer hit him. So the first half comes to an end. The rain has stopped. It'll be an explosive second half if we have dry weather. We'll be back with NFL 79 after this.
Want higher mileage? Chrysler Corporation is #1 in gasoline mileage of the big 3. Now Chrysler offers a $400 rebate. Come see your Dodge or Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Make your best deal on these Chrysler and Plymouth cars, and Chrysler will top it with a $400 check sent directly to you. Get a Chrysler New Yorker, get a check. Get a Newport or Cordova, get a check. Get a Chrysler LeBaron
or a Plymouth Volare. Make your best deal and get a $400 check directly from Chrysler.
Get a Dodge Diplomat, get a check. Get a St. Regis, get a check. Get a Magnum, get an Aspen, get a Dodge van or a full-size pickup. Make your best deal and Chrysler will top it with a $400 check sent directly to you. Get a car, get a check. Get a truck, get a check. Get a van, get a check. Come to Dodge or Chrysler Plymouth and check it out.
Back at the Orange Bowl in Miami, we've come to halftime. The Dolphins holding to a 9-3 lead over the Seattle Seahawks. Miami still no touchdowns today, as they've been very tough to hit against with the long throw, which Zorn has tried so often. But now, for the rest of this day in the NFL, we're going to switch to New York, where Brian Gumbel is standing by with a report on NFL 79.
Kind of day it's been for the Oakland Raiders. Stabler has them in scoring position, has Mark Van Egan wide open. Van Egan cannot hold on to it. The Raiders go to the half, trailing the Chargers 21-3. Meanwhile, in Miami, it's the Seattle Seahawks out, trailing the Miami Dolphins. That one stands at 9-3. Hello again, everyone. I'm Brian Gumbel, along with Mike Adamle. We will get you caught up on all the events of Sunday #2. We've got scores, we've got highlights. We'll get to it all right after these messages from your local station.
Wednesday, join us as we discover why so many women are reading Playgirl magazine.
Especially this issue. This has got tushes in it.
Then,
hey, look, how about giving me a lift up to my room? I can't reach the elevator button.
You'll fall in love in a big way with 2 real estate giants.
Works every time.
Plus our down-home hollering contest, all on real people.
Pacific Bank's Steve Landy works hand in hand with businesses to help them grow. And he's good at it.
because he goes out of his way to get involved.
I don't always look like a banker, but that's exactly why some people think I'm a good one.
Steve Landy is a tough professional, and like others on Pacific Bank's business team, he's a friend your company can count on. Pacific Bank, a tough professional bank.
Okay, let's check the Mariner news. Tough game last night. Let's check the football headlines. Last night, hello, Mr. Sports. Babe Ruth. It wasn't?
When it comes to sports, most radio stations give you a one-man show. But the KVI sports page gives you a whole team who bring you the inside story on sports for 2 hours every weeknight. The KVI 570 sports page, weeknights at 6. Because we don't think one man can do it all.
Hello, Mr. Sports.
All you need is a little pizzazz.
Be the girl in the gray flannel suit. In the gray flannel suit from Patty Woodard. Pick a knit from Wayne Rogers. Belton one with a belted top from Cabal and a basic black pant from Condor. Better Juniors with pizzazz at Frederick and Nelson.
Pizzazz, Frederick and Nelson has got for you.
You're watching King 5.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to NFL 79, Sunday number 2, winding down. I'm Brian Gumble, along with Mike Adamley. We'll get you caught up on football. But first, a baseball note. In Boston today, in the 8th inning, Carl Yastrzemski singled off Baltimore reliever Tim Stoddard. He now has 2,999 hits. He will soon become the 15th man in baseball history to achieve the 3,000 mark. Back to football. You know, so there are some days when the Pittsburgh Steelers are so good, it's almost like they're playing a different game from everybody else. It must have appeared that way to the Houston Oilers today. The Oilers could generate only 124 yards of offense. Earl Campbell was held to just 38 yards. The Steelers walked away with it 38-7. Mike Adamley, it's only 2 weeks into the season, but boy, the Steelers look great.
You know, I was just going to say that. I don't want to give the Steelers the kiss of death, but they're rivaling Miami's super 17-0 season. If they keep playing like that today, like they did today, they got a good chance to go undefeated. Dan Pastorini, well, he had all kinds of problems today. He was intercepted 3 times, and he was sacked 5 times. This was just one of those sacks. He's pursued. Finally, number 76, John Banaszak, puts him away. Bradshaw, on the other hand, was extremely efficient. Play action fake to Harris, and then Sid Thornton in the end zone. 17-0 Steelers at this point. Show you what kind of day it was for Pastorini. We'll watch right here. Pump fakes, rolls to his left. He goes to throw, but Laurentiis comes down on his right arm. It was ruled a fumble, and Pastorini had to be carried from the field with a bruised right arm. His replacement did no better either. Gifford Nielsen fires, this time Dirk Whiston, number 53, picks it off and goes in for the score to put the Steelers on top 38-7 at that point.
Okay, the New England Patriots look very impressive also today. Playing at home in Foxborough, they buried the Jets 56-3. And Steve Grogan found a way to silence his critics. He was 13 for 18, 315 yards, 5 touchdown strikes. The St. Louis Cardinals behind the running of Otis Anderson, another plus 100-yard day for that rookie. 27-14 over the Giants, this after they spotted the Giants a lead of 14-0. Otis has to still be looking up in the rushing standings, though, at Walter Payton. Walter today 182 yards to lead the Bears to a 26-7 victory over the Minnesota Vikings. Perhaps that one game characterizes a change of power or a restructuring of the power in the NFC Central. The Vikings certainly not the team they used to be. Payton's 2-game total now 307 yards. You talk about a team that has really changed under a coach. How about Chuck Knox's Buffalo Bills? Today they rack up 51 points. They turned back the Cincinnati Bengals 51-24. Big day for Roland Hooks. He had 4 touchdowns, all of them in the second half. All of them came rushing. And Mike, they've got a lot of good young talent up there.
Brian, it looked like the days of War Memorial Stadium when they had Jack Kemp and Elbert DeBenion, Cookie Gilchrist. Lou Saban was the coach. 51 points in all, and that's after an offense that scored nothing last week. This was in the 3rd quarter. Ken Anderson, Cincinnati missed him for the first 8 games, and they were powerless. They went 0-8. And Anderson had some trouble early on here. This was in the 3rd quarter early on, and Isaiah Robertson, number 58, picks him off and goes 23 yards for the score that put Buffalo on top 24-10. But when Anderson was on, he was on really good. And watch this 73-yard hookup with Billy Brooks, the Oklahoma Flash. He splits the secondary and scores to make it 24-17 at this point. Later in the third quarter, Roland Hooks, who scored 4 touchdowns, watch what he does here. The fourth-year man from North Carolina State, 1 tackle, 2 tackle. He breaks a third and goes 33 yards for a score, 31-17 Buffalo. Fourth quarter action. Here's Hooks' second touchdown. 4th and goal situation from the 5. Hooks rams it in. Buffalo just too much for the Cincinnati Bengals, and they're going to be a factor in the AFC East.
I should think so, Michael. The Washington Redskins a winner today, 27-24. Mosley a field goal with just 8 seconds left to win that one. Green Bay turns back the Saints 28-19, but a tremendous performance by Archie Manning, 28 of 35, 291 yards, best losing quarterback around. Tampa Bay, they used to laugh at the Buccaneers, but laugh no longer. They are now 2-0. They turn back the Baltimore Colts 29-26, this one in overtime. Oakland, San Diego, it's been a whale of a game. It was the fumble game last year, but only the Raiders are fumbling out there today. The Chargers reigning supreme 21-3 at the half. Dan Fouts leading another big afternoon for the electrically charged Chargers.
Well, the Chargers have so many offensive weapons, John Jefferson and Charlie Joyner wideouts, but they've been taking advantage of their tight ends. Jefferson did get a chance to hook up with Danny Fouts. There's a good look at Oakland's new coach, Tom Flores, but Fouts did get a chance to hook up with number 83, John Jefferson. Great grab here. Already he's 3 for 40, and watch him scoot 24 yards to make it 7-0 Oakland. Here's the tight end utilization I was talking about. Bob Klein beats a mixed-up Oakland secondary and goes 46 yards to make it 14-0 in favor of San Diego. In the second quarter, 1st and 10 ball on the San Diego 40-yard line. Stabler hooks up with number 88, Raymond Chester, down to the 15-yard line, and then set up a field goal to make it 14-3. Stabler had problems, though. First interception of the year. This one's picked off nicely by number 51, Woodrow Lowe from Alabama, and watch him go. Not bad for a linebacker. 32 yards in all to put the Chargers on top, 21-3.
Not bad for a lot of running backs in this league either. San Francisco springing a surprise at home against Dallas. It's 10-6. Dorsett against O.J. Tony has 16 yards. O.J. has 31 and a touchdown. Seattle against Miami. It's the kids against the veterans. Veterans outdoing them 3-1 right now. It's 9-3 at the half. Mike Adamle, been a battle of the feet.
Well, Miami was the least penalized team in the NFL last year, but they're having problems with the yellow flag today. It's bogged them down a little bit, but they do lead 9-3. Larry Zonkum has helped them out a lot last week. He had 87 yards, and he's been very tough today. This is an example of his bullish power as he rambles 8 yards up the middle. In the second quarter, Zorn, who is having some problems, not being as effective as he usually is, goes back to pass. He's going to be hit here. The ball is deflected, and number 55, a reserve linebacker, Ernie Rohn, who comes in on passing situations, picks it up off. Later on in the second quarter, Miami ball, 2nd and goal. Nice diving grab by number 83, Nat Moore. Von Schumann missed the field goal, probably much to the light of, or the extra point, much to the delight of Garo Yepremian. And he's watching on. Juve did go on to kick another field goal for the Dolphins.
We talked about Garo in the pregame. Interesting, Von Schumann hit 59 of 59 extra points in college. 0 for 2 he is now as a pro. And one other game, this one at the half, the Cleveland Browns out in front of the Kansas City Chiefs. This one stands at 17-0. And Livingston has been lifted at quarterback for the Chiefs in favor of quarterback Steve Fuller. He the #1 draft pick out of Clemson. Brian Sipe has thrown 2 touchdown passes, one to Reggie Rucker of 17 yards, another one of Ozzie Newsome of 20 yards. So again, the Cleveland Browns leading 17-0, and the Browns trying to make it 2-0. If things remain the way they are right now, the Chiefs will drop to the 500 level. This 1979 National Football League game is brought to you by Toyota. See the energy-efficient Celica Supra, powerful pleasure at your local Toyota dealer. You got it, Toyota. By Michelob Light, good taste runs in the family. By Hilton Hotels Corporation, wherever you go, there's no place like Hilton. And by Merrill Lynch, a breed apart. Welcome back to New York. For those of you who lost us for a few moments, let us get you caught up very briefly before going back for a second half of football. These scores today. The Steelers a winner over Houston, 38-7. Steve Grogan, 315 yards, 5 touchdowns. Patriots win big over the Jets. St. Louis, another 100-plus day for Otis Anderson. They beat the Giants 27-14. Walter Payton, 182 yards. Bears a winner, 26-7. Buffalo scores big, 51-24, 4 touchdowns for Roland Hooks. On a last-second field goal, Washington wins 27-24 over Detroit. Green Bay a surprise winner by New Orleans 28-19. Tampa Bay in overtime beats Baltimore 29-26. At the half, San Diego 21, Oakland 3, San Francisco 10, Dallas 6. That one in the second quarter. At the half, Miami 9, Seattle 3, and Cleveland beating Kansas City. This one at the half. That one stands at 17-0. I do believe you're caught up for this Sunday. Right now, we've got a second half football to come. It'll come after this commercial break.
Hi.
Hi.
Guess what? I just sold my first painting.
Oh, that's great.
Let's celebrate.
I was counting on it. Nothing less than Michelob Light.
Michelob makes a light beer?
Uh-huh.
All right.
The good taste of Michelob Light. Don't just compare it to other light beers. Compare it to your regular beer. It's that good.
This Michelob Light's really great.
Uh-huh.
I wonder what I should paint next.
How about the garage?
Good taste runs in the family.
More super values from Sears. The great menswear buys start here with the value dress shirt. Now just $6.99. You save $2. But don't stop there. Save $30 on this 4-piece vested suit. Now just $89. The coat, reversible vest, and 2 slacks make 6 great outfits. The value dress shirt and this 4-piece vested suit. Super looks, super values. Sears, where America shops for value.
A painter gets some funny calls these days. Like this man. In a hurry because he's moving. Use Benjamin Moore's Moorguard, he says. I want it to last. Great for do-it-yourselfers, too. Okay. Even Moorguard takes a little time. He may have to finish this job himself. He's still in luck, though, because Moorguard's available everywhere. Same great quality all across the country.
See your Benjamin Moore dealer. He really knows his paint.
Here we are back at the Orange Bowl in Miami, where the score at halftime is Miami Dolphins 9, the Seattle Seahawks 3. This is Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy. Bob, the Dolphin defense is tough to move on. What do you do as a game plan?
Well, Jack Patera's got to be very unhappy with his receivers and running backs. They're just flat not catching the ball. Zorn hasn't thrown the ball that bad, but he's had about 4 or 5 drops, same as he had last week. They got to play a very good second half to get back in this game because Miami's defense has got the steam going for them.
The field goals could be the story. It seems to be difficult getting the ball deep, and there is still another distinct threat of a storm coming in. We've had a big one already. It lasted about 15 minutes, then blew away. Doesn't look too good over there, though.
No, it doesn't. I've never been in a hurricane, and I'm not really anxious to be, but if it does rain, if the weather does get bad, it favors the Miami Dolphins with their big running backs. Delvin Williams, Larry Zonka, even though he's bothered, I think, with a bad shoulder.
Well, Zorn's already put the ball in the air 19 times, but Greasy's been throwing too. He's put it up 15 times. And with the wet ball, the wet field, and the guys throwing a lot, we could have more turnovers. That could be the ultimate outcome of this game decided on those.
And that would be unfortunate. Seattle's traveled a long way. They lost last week on some bad breaks. They're here trying to play the best they possibly can. And when the weather turns sour, then all of a sudden you got to go to your plan B. You try to do things that you're not really practicing, that you haven't practiced the week before. And it changes the entire complexion of the ball game. So it makes it tough on both teams.
Seattle doesn't follow the form chart. They throw a lot in first down, and right now we're ready to kick it off. Here in the third quarter, the Dolphins will be receiving. As you see the halftime statistical breakdown, the arithmetic.
Possession time close. The penalties have played a big part in this. Also turnovers for both teams. The interception returned by Roan really turned it around for Miami in the first half, in the second quarter.
I tell you, there's only one statistic that makes any difference. That's the bottom line up there on the
scoreboard. You're right. Absolutely right.
But they say statistics are for whoever, not winners.
Not the players. The statistics are for the people who watch the game, I think.
Efren Herrera hits it downfield, and Tony Nathan, a rookie back from the Crimson Tide of Alabama, takes it across the 15-yard line and out to the 21. And there, Greasy and the offense go on at 1st and 10. Don Dufek, All-American defensive back at Michigan. Top special team player, 25, was down on the hit for Seattle.
Okay, I think if I'm Don Shula, I'm going to get with my offense, and I'm going to say, gentlemen, we're going to try going wide a little more. Because I think if they can establish somewhat of a wide running game, it'll take some of the pressure off the outside receivers. They'll be able to throw the ball a little bit.